welcome to the Pivot to Balance podcast. I'm your host, AK, and I hope you're doing well. In a world that pulls us in a million different directions and with a billion distractions, finding balance can feel like an ambiguous quest. Join me on this podcast as I try to navigate life's twists and turns with mindfulness, purpose, and grace. In each episode, we will dive into topics like self-care, personal growth, mindset shifts by sharing practical insights, stories, and maybe even interviews. Get ready to pivot, to recalibrate, and find your balance. Follow the Pivot to Balance podcast, and I will see you on the other side. In today's episode, we are going to talk about changes because fall is here, everybody. I am looking out of my balcony and I see the leaves turning colors. It is so peaceful. It is such a hibernating season, and people are definitely getting into the mood. I wish I could say fall has always been my favorite season, but I came from India and I moved to the United States exactly a year ago, and that's when I experienced fall for the first time. But it has definitely been my favorite season virtually. I love the whole aesthetic. I love the nature changes so much, and all of us just have to adapt to it. I mentioned that I moved to the US exactly a year ago. It was such a huge change. It definitely took me out of my comfort zone. I wasn't scared because I knew, even though it was uncertain, I still knew that there were so many things that I could learn out of moving to another country. I'm not saying that everybody has to move to another country, but stepping out of your comfort zone, even though uncertain and scary, could transform your life in ways you could have never imagined. And that's exactly what happened to me. Imagine that what you need and who you're supposed to be is on the other side of change, and you don't even take the step to see what it could be. When we move from summer to fall, when we transition that way, it's definitely uncomfortable in a lot of ways, especially when the sun is not up at 6 a.m. and it only rises at 7 a.m. It's definitely uncomfortable. It's like stepping into the unknown, leaving behind what's been familiar. But in those moments of discomfort, we grow, we learn, and we adapt. We switch from tank tops and we move to sweaters. It is what it is. And this brings me to talk about how sometimes change is inevitable. There's just nothing you can do about it. You have to adapt or you can't keep up. The world is evolving at an incredible pace with AI playing, yes, I'm going to talk about AI. AI is playing such a significant role in our lives. AI and automation is continuing to advance and it's reshaping industries and jobs. Yes, it is definitely intimidating, but it's also an opportunity for us to adapt and learn new things. I want to talk about 5 actionable things you can do to embrace change. First, let's eat the frog. And I don't mean actually eat the frog. It's just a process where you identify things that demand more of your time and energy and complete them first. There's a book called Eat the Frog by Brian Tracy. I highly recommend you read that. I'll put that in the description so you can get it. The number one thing is cultivate adaptability. So when we talk about embracing change, it actually begins with developing your adaptability skills, and it takes time and conscious effort. That's why we're doing it first, because it's going to take a lot of your time, consistency, and discipline from your side. What do we mean by cultivating adaptability? The great thing about this is it doesn't have to be a large-scale project. It could be a very little thing. For example, you could start waking up at 7:30 a.m. instead of 8 a.m. your usual time. Let's say that you get a job where you have to be at work at 9 a.m. and you have to start getting up at 7:30. But you've already done that. So that sounds good now, right? You've better equipped yourself to handle a significant change, and it's become easier for you. Cultivating adaptability is not only when the change happens, but also before the change happens. But it's not like you constantly have to keep thinking, what's going to change? What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to stay ahead of the curve. It doesn't apply to everything, but small efforts every single day to one area is more than enough. If you're scared about AI taking your job, learn about AI. Become an expert in AI. You can adapt to changes internally. How is AI going to help you do what you already do? Number 2, set clear goals. When you have clear goals, change just becomes a part of it. So let's say that your goal is to start running for an hour every day, but you know it's not going to happen on day one. Adapting to changes within the process is very easy once you have a purpose. And this goal could be personal, it could be career, it could be health and wellness. The journey can feel less uncertain if you know what you're trying to achieve. Let's say that you're trying to make it as a data scientist. We have AI. So how can you collaborate with AI to become a data scientist? It's about taking pieces of what's happening in the world and making something of it yourself. Number 3 is stay informed and curious. The best thing you can do for yourself is to always be a student. The world is changing so fast. I have lived for 20 years and a million different things have changed. You have to dedicate some time to learn about different trends and whatever it is in your industry or whatever it is. It could be your personal life, it could be wealth, it could be health, fitness. It's about building that curiosity instead of viewing that as, oh, what am I going to do with this information? View that as an opportunity to learn and grow, and that will also help you in the 4th step, which is building a support network. But when you build a support network, you need to know what it is that you're actually, interested in. But also, it's important to know what it is that you're interested in, but also learning different parts of other industries so you can have conversations with different people. The 4th thing is building a support network. When you're starting to build something new, or you're starting out in a career, or you're in the middle of anything, you need people around you that can understand you, that can empathize with your experiences and provide emotional support and guidance. I know that some people, they think you don't need emotional support when you're trying to build something new. But the amount of self-doubt that happens when you're trying to build something new, it is so deep. And you definitely need people around you. You definitely need someone that can understand you. You don't need people that are in your personal life. Actually, scratch that. You don't only need people that are in your personal life. You need people that are mentors, because they've been through this process and they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what you're feeling. One of my biggest goals right now is to find a mentor. I'm putting it out there in the universe. If you want to mentor me, please tell me. Not anyone can just become a mentor. There has to be a relatability factor there. And when it comes to personal life, personal people, you need to share your aspirations, your challenges, and your triumphs with them as well. It's just that the mentor would be able to understand you better than most people, because they might not know the struggle of trying to build something new. They might not know the struggle of trying to run for an hour every day. And moving into number 5, the last one is practicing mindfulness. I cannot tell you how important this is. It is so easy to get lost in self-criticism, and change often comes with such uncertainty and stress. So you can try meditating. I can't really talk about it because I've never tried it. But I know that it's such a long process. It's such a journey that you have to go on to learn how to meditate. And you can journal. That's something I can talk about because I've done that. And journaling really helps you manage your anxiety. It helps you focus on the present moment and try to maintain a positive outlook as you're navigating through changes. That's all I have for you for this episode. If you at all found this interesting, and try this and let me know how it works, because if there's something else that you're trying, let me know, because that would be interesting to learn. Tag me on Instagram at the Pivot to Balance podcast, and DM me if you have any questions, or if you want to talk, or if you have any requests to bring someone on the show. Now go grab a cup of lemon water, and I will see you in the next episode.